Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to teach you how to do 3 different types of injections: a subcutaneous injection, an intradermal injection, and an intramuscular injection. So stay tuned. So doing injections is not something that we do very frequently as a physician assistant, but it is really important that we know how to do them because we are going to order these type of injections on a routine basis, and we want to make sure that if we're ordering something, we know how to do it ourselves. So today we're going to take you through 3 different types of injections, like I mentioned. We're going to walk you through how to do an intradermal injection, which would be like a TB test. We're going to walk you through how to do an intramuscular injection, like a vaccine or an antibiotic injection, and we're going to walk you through how to do a subcutaneous injection, like an insulin injection. We'll take you step by step and show you all the tips and tricks how to do that on a little simulator. So let's get started. So the simulator that we use in our lab is called the demo dose, and it's the Inject Ed. So it teaches the students how to inject into a simulation of skin. So this is kind of a silicone base, and it has kind of a reservoir or a sponge on the inside. So when you inject into it, it kind of feels like real skin. The other thing is that underneath it, if you open this up, you can see the sponge underneath, and so any liquid that you inject in this will be collected down here and can be disposed of. So this is what we're going to work on today when I show you the different types of injections. All right, next let's take a look at the different supplies that we'll be needing to do these procedures. So we'll need some non-sterile gloves. Make sure you know what size you are. We'll need our medication. In this case, we'll be using sterile water. We'll need our Inject Ed demo dose to use as the patient. Also might want to have some little 2x2 gauze to have in case we need it. Then we're going to need different sets of instruments for each type of injection. So here on this side we have the alcohol prep pads, and we have an insulin syringe. So you'll see that it's really small. The syringe is really small, and it's marked in units. So that is for administering insulin. That's a subcutaneous injection. We also have a Band-Aid. In the middle here we have the intramuscular injection equipment. So we have a 5 cc syringe. You can use 3 or 5 cc syringes for this. We have a Band-Aid, and then we have our drawing needle, which for our sake, we're going to be using a 22 to do for drawing. It's a little bigger than what we'll use for injecting. But we don't want to use the typical drawing needles, which are blunt, because they'll make a big hole in our equipment and we won't be able to reuse them as often. We also need the injecting needle, which in this case I'm going to use a 25. And you'll see on the needles, it'll tell you how big of a gauge the needle is. The bigger the gauge of the needle, the smaller the lumen. And it'll tell you how big the needle is. So this is a 1-inch needle. Next, and last but not least, we're going to need to do the intradermal injections. This is like a TB injection. Right here we have our disposable syringe. It does not have a needle, but this is a 1 cc syringe, 1 ml. And we'll need, again, our drawing needle, which we'll use a 22 gauge needle, and then the injecting needle, which in this case is a small 1/2 inch 27, a bandage, and then of course our alcohol swabs. What I didn't notice and what I did mention was for the insulin syringe, the needle is actually attached to the syringe itself. And so for these, you're going to use the same drawing needle as you will inject. Okay, now let's talk about some of the things that we need to do before we get started with the procedure. First, we need to introduce ourselves to the patient and confirm their name and their date of birth. Then we need to ask them about any allergies to medications. Next, we need to discuss the procedure with them. We need to talk about indications, any contraindications, complications, risks and benefits of the procedure, and alternative treatment options, and the risk of refusal. Then we need to gather up all of our supplies. Next, we need to review the medication. We need to check the strength and the dosage and ensure that it's the same medication that we're giving the patient as what we have in front of us. We also need to record the lot and the batch number, which are indicated right here. We'll put that on the chart. Then we need to look at the anatomical site of the patient. Check and make sure that it's clean and that it's good to go. Then we want to wash our hands with soap and water and dry them thoroughly. and put on non-sterile gloves. After that, we want to take a look at the medication, make sure that there's no cloudiness, that it hasn't been tampered or compromised, and then we're going to prepare this for the procedure. All right, now I'm going to teach you how to draw up the medication. So we'll go ahead and use these supplies that we have here. We want to put on our gloves before we do this, and the first thing we're going to do is take our vial of medication. So usually it has a plastic lid on the top, and we'll want to pop that off. It usually just kind of pops off. And technically, everything that's underneath here is sterile, but what we want to do is wipe it off. So we'll open up a sterile prep pad, and we will wipe off the top. Okay, and then we dispose of that prep pad. Now this is ready to go. We already checked the medication, made sure everything was good with it. Now we're going to take our syringe. So this is a 5 cc syringe, and I'm going to take my drawing needle. So whenever we put a needle, we don't want to be touching everything on the hub here, because all of that is kind of sterile. So we want to kind of just open it up. We want to attach it while it's still in the packaging, so it's nice and clean. Okay. Once we're done with that, we want to withdraw the amount of air that we need to inject the medication. If I'm going to put 1 cc of medication, I'm going to withdraw 1 cc of air into my syringe. Okay. Once I do that, I'm going to insert the needle into my medication, and I'm going to insert that air or inject the air into the medication. And then from there, I'm going to make sure that my needle is within the solution in here, and I'm going to withdraw my 1 cc. What we did when we put the air in there is we kind of created a vacuum effect. So the medication kind of automatically went in there. Once I have the medication that I needed, I'll withdraw my syringe. And then you'll see that there's some little air bubbles in here. So we want to get rid of those air bubbles. So we'll kind of gently tap the syringe to get the air bubbles up. And the air bubbles will then kind of coalesce here at the hub of the needle, and then we can gently get them out. So I'll gently push. There we go, until I see that the air bubble has traveled up and out of the needle. And then it's prepped. I have my 1 cc prepped and ready to go. From there, always be careful when you're recapping needles. They say you shouldn't, but if you have to, you should kind of fish it up and on the cap and then gently place it down. I have been stuck by a needle before, and it was no fun, so please try your best not to get stuck. All right, now that we have our medication drawn up, we are ready to do our injections. All right, now let's get ready to do this intramuscular injection. So we have our patient's skin, usually like a deltoid, a shoulder, or a gluteal region. We have their skin, we've already inspected it, made sure it was good to go. We're going to clean the skin. So for this, we'll open up a sterile pad, and we can do kind of a side-to-side motion like this. And you don't want to do this, you don't want to blow on it, you just let it dry naturally. Now we're going to draw up our medication. So I already showed you how to do this, but I'm going to show you one more time. I'm going to put my drawing needle on. Remember, I'm not going to take it out of the packaging. I'm going to put my drawing needle on, and then I'm going to open up my medication. I'm going to wipe this down as well, so I'm going to open up this. I'm going to wipe this down so it's ready to go. And I'm going to be injecting 1 cc, so I'm going to pull up that air, take this off, and put that 1 cc of air in, and then withdraw the medication. Okay, once I do that, I'm going to get my air bubbles out. Very good, and I'm going to prep it, make sure that that air bubble is up and out of the hub. And then I'm going to be careful to recap this and take my drawing needle off. Now I'm going to replace it with my injecting needle. So I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to stick it on there. Gentle push, turn, take this off. This is a guard so that it locks after you're done. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to make sure that this one is nice and prepped. So I'm just going to push until the liquid gently comes out of the top there. Now I'm ready to do my injection. So an intramuscular injection is going to be at 90 degrees. So I'm going to hold it kind of like a dart. Okay, I have my little gauze. This area has already been cleaned. So I'm going to pull it tight. I usually do it with a thumb, or I can do a kind of a two-fingered spread apart. And I'm going to pull, and I'm going to inject at 90 degrees. Okay. Current literature says we don't have to withdraw to make sure that we're not in a vessel, but on our rubric it still has that instruction. So I'm going to withdraw slightly to make sure that I'm not in a vessel. Nothing should come up. Okay. Once I'm done with that, I can apply gentle pressure to push the medicine in, slowly and gently. Okay, once all the medication is in, I'm going to smoothly remove. And I'm going to apply my cotton ball or cotton swab. That's what this lock is for. You're going to use it to lock your needle. So you'll lock it just like that. And we'll dispose that in our sharps. And then I'm going to place a Band-Aid. So usually I'll have a cotton swab. I'll open this up. And I will place my bandage. So usually it'll be kind of a wadded up cotton. And then I'll place my bandage like so. And once I'm done with that, the procedure is actually done. I would have already explained to the patient all the things to look out for and what to do, and then I will discard of my material. So I will throw this and this in the sharps container. I will place my medicine back if it is reusable, back in the fridge or wherever it needs to go. I'll throw all of my trash in the garbage. I will wash my hands, and I will give the patient their post-procedure instructions. And that is the intramuscular injection. All right, next up I'm going to show you how to do the subcutaneous injection. So for this one I have an insulin syringe. So I'm going to take this top off. It protects the plunger. And I'm going to take my medication out, my insulin. I'm going to wipe the top of it again. And then I'm going to open. Now these needles are really, really tiny and delicate, so you need to be very, very careful with them when you're withdrawing the medication. So I'm going to give 10 units of insulin. So I'm going to place this in here. Be very careful not to bend the needle. I'm going to inject the medicine, and then I'm going to gently pull the plunger back until I get to 10 units. Okay, remember, in this injection, we're using the same drawing needle as injecting needle. Once I've gotten my 10 units, I can pull that out. And on this one, you shouldn't have any really big air bubbles. Technically in SubQ, you probably would be fine without prepping. Okay, so once I have my medication in here, if I need to prep the skin, I can place the cap back on gently. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to set my medication aside. Now, I only have one of these. I'm going to use the same one. You should have a separate one to use. But on this one, I'm going to clean the skin. Okay, I'm going to let that dry without fanning it, without blowing on it. And with a subcutaneous injection, you don't always need a Band-Aid or a cotton swab because a lot of times these do not bleed and you can just leave them. Most patients that self-administer insulin or other things, they don't put a Band-Aid on it when they're done. But for our rubric, it is included, so I will walk you through that as well. Now, the way that we hold an insulin or subcutaneous injection is going to be a little different. For the intramuscular, we did a dart because we were going in at 90 degrees. For a subcutaneous, we're going to be going in at 45 degrees, okay? So usually I kind of do something like this, and I hold it like this, okay? So I have the bevel facing up. I'm going to pinch the skin because I want to grab the fat. It's going to be into subcutaneous, not into the muscle. So I'm going to pinch the skin like this, and then I'm going to insert it bevel up at about 45 degrees, okay? Once it's in, I'm going to release the pinch of the skin, pull out the plunger to make sure I'm not in any blood, and then I'm going to gently push the medication. Okay. Once I'm done with that, I'll remove the needle in a quick, swift motion, and I will place a Band-Aid if it's bleeding. If it's not bleeding, I can leave it open, but for this, I'm going to place this bandage, and I'm going to put the Band-Aid on like so. So that is the subcutaneous injection. Make sure that afterwards, again, that you dispose of your sharps in the correct containers, that you clean the area off if you had any excess blood or anything. You're going to dispose of all your equipment, take your gloves off, wash your hands, and explain the post-procedure instructions to your patient. All right, last but not least, we're going to be doing an intradermal injection. This is like what we would do for a TB test, okay? And a lot of us have had that before. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my syringe. All right, and I'm going to take my drawing needle. My drawing needle is going to be my bigger one right here. So I'm going to put my drawing needle on so I can draw up my medication. So I'm going to stick my needle on gently, and then I'm going to take my cleaner. I'm going to open my medication and I'm going to clean the top again. Okay, then I'm going to figure out how much I need to draw up. I'm going to draw up, let's say 0.3, 0.3 on the TB syringe. So I'm going to insert my needle, I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to push in the liquid, and then I'm going to withdraw the fluid until I get to my 0.3. All right, once I have that, I'm going to release. Okay, make sure that it's no air bubbles, that everything is where it needs to go. Okay, and then I'm going to replace my needle, take this one off, and I'm going to put on my injecting needle. All right, got my injecting needle, I got everything else to the side, have my cotton and my Band-Aid. I'm going to go ahead and open it so it's ready to go. All right, I have my skin. Let's prep our skin. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to gently rub it back and forth on the skin to clean it up. I'm going to let that dry naturally. I'm not going to blow on it. I'm not going to waft it. Now, the angle of an intradermal injection is almost like putting in an IV. It is a 10-degree angle. So we want to open it up and we want to find our bevel. My bevel is right here. My bevel is going to be up. Now for this one, we do need to pull the skin taut. So we're going to kind of use our thumb to pull the skin tight, or you can use both the thumb and index finger. So I'm going to do that. I want to make sure you can see. So I want to pull it tight, and I'm going to insert the needle just underneath the skin, okay? And then from here, I do not need to withdraw on this one, but I'm going to inject the medication. You'll see a little bubble, a little wheel pop up, inject the medication. And then when you're done injecting the medication, you gently pull out. And that should do it for the intradermal injection. With these models, sometimes the liquid then comes kind of shooting out or comes back out, and that's okay. As long as you can create that little wheel, that's what we're looking for. Afterwards, you don't want to put a Band-Aid on this one. You want to leave it open to air and let it heal just like that. You don't want to mess with it too much. You want to instruct the patient on a test like a TB test to come back and have it read within 48 to 72 hours. Other than that, you're going to dispose of your sharps. You're going to take your gloves off, wash your hands, and explain anything to the patient that you need to explain. And that's the intradermal injection. All right, well, that wraps up our video on the 3 different types of injections that you will be responsible for knowing. I hope this video helped you clear up how to perform these types of injections on our simulator that we use in our labs. If you have any questions about any of these procedures, post them in the comments below. I'd be happy to help you out. Also, if maybe you were an MA or you did something like this in the past where you were giving injections, be sure to comment any tips or tricks that you have for your fellow students. And as always, thank you so much for watching our channel. We hope these videos are helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next one.